And hello, how's everybody doing? Welcome to the Animation Dojo, episode 14 now. So, yeah, my name is Pedro. I'm your instructor. I mean, you see my moniker down here, employee of the month, because I'm wearing my McDowell's shirt. And yeah, today we're going to start the first exercise that will involve full production. So, uh, we're going from model sheet. What's up, Abigail? Good to have you here. So we're going from model sheet. We're going to develop a storyboard. We're going to do our a post sheet. Then we're going to do our layouts, and we're going to do the animation. So more than likely, we won't cover everything that needs to be done today. So it's going to take several classes for us to get this to completion. I do have a surprise for you today because I did finish the run cycle, completely cleaned up and with effects. And here it is in all its glory. I already sent it to Art. I'm still waiting for him to tell me what he thinks. So yeah, the only thing this is missing is a background, and it would be a revolving background. But I mean, I didn't have time to make it properly, so this is what I got so far. So that's the run cycle. But the class today, it's gonna be more along the lines of adapting a character. Thank you so much, Abigail. Yeah, I would really appreciate that. So, the character we're adapting is a character by Alterna Comics called King Cryptid, which is this character here. There's several issues already. You can find them on alternatecomics.com. Awesome website. They have that title among others, so it would be really cool if you guys go check it out. So, why am I using a comic book character designed for comics? I mean, it doesn't translate properly to animation in the sense that if we go with all the detail we've got here, uh, it will make it would make for a very uh, expensive production. So things need to be simplified for animation, and that's why, like, I don't know, like comic books, I don't know, they get more detail, and it's basically the requirements change from comic books to animation, and that's like you'll see adaptations that don't look just like the character, but just like the spirit of the character is kept. So I got a couple of references I'm gonna be using to adapt King Cryptid. Let me get the other one I got. It should be this one. Another one here. Other reference. I've got this one here. So when you're adapting or designing a character, well, not designing, if designing is coming out of your head, but if you're adapting a character, get as many, or references you can before you start, you know, working on the character, and then work really close with your clients. So they're happy and you can come up with a viable product. Let me just organize this a bit so I can start like reviewing how we go about doing a model sheet. Okay. And the thing is, like, I remember when Pete came out with this concept for King Cryptid, I loved it from the get go. Do I come from that jazz? I don't think I understand the question. Do I come from jazz? I mean, I like jazz, but I don't know if I come from jazz. So let's minimize this. So when you're doing a story, a model sheet for your character, and let me just grab all this. Group it and then make it smaller. That way we have space to work. So when you're doing a model sheet, you got to start with the. You got to make like different poses, the as neutral as you can, as neutral as you can, and you need to give all the animations, all the animators, the information they need, so we can all like draw the character the same. So the first pose you start with, and I'm gonna blue line it so I can go really fast. It's a three-quarter pose, a frontal three-quarter pose. Okay. So in order to achieve that, the first thing you do is he's a very tall character, so remember you want to make the pose as neutral as possible, but that doesn't mean it can't be interesting. Okay, so he has this. He's got this details on its shoulders, working to like the cape. So it's something that looks like this. And the thing with blue lining your drawing, you can always plus it later. So the crown, I think it's like it's very geometric, so that helps a lot, helping with the turnaround. So I might not go with this like very like bony looking, like not so much disorganized. I might take a cue from here, which is more like symmetrical. So let's go with that. And I'm going like very, very, like trying to find the shapes, not really going with the details, just because it's not a time for that. Hey, what's up, Edwin? Good to have you here, man. And then he's got his hair. Probably he should be bulkier. So I did it kind of skinny, so I can come in here. space for the feet. You got 3 toes. Okay. So if you read the description of the video, the exercise is called bad news. And basically what we're doing is we're making a sequence. Hey, what's up, Roy? So in this exercise, we're making a sequence, and it's 2 scenes, a close-up and a long shot. The character, we have to animate as if the character received bad news. So we start with the close-up, and we don't hear what is said, but through his expressions and his body language, we have to know it's bad news. You can't hear me? Whoa. That's weird. Let me check. Check. Wow. Can you hear me? That's weird. No. Oh, okay. That happens, right? Don't worry. So yeah, like as I was saying, like this exercise is the first time we're gonna do a sequence. So it's two scenes, a close up, which would be chest up or neck up. I recommend more of a chest up, and a long shot. Our character, like we're not gonna hear what is said, but we have to know through his reaction that is bad news. So after we finish the model sheet, we're gonna start working on what's called the pulse sheet, where we're gonna start working with the range of our character. So there's several steps we have to go through before we start animating, and I think it's a good way to show you guys like how you would go about in production as a character designer, which is a lot of people choose that path. Like not many people like go for animation per se, go more for character design. So it would be interesting. So he's bare naked. Okay, so now we can go with a darker pencil. Now that we have the shapes defined, and start working, okay, on the details of our character. So he is noseless. Yes, he has no nose. So here the detail on his face is like hair, right? So in order to animate properly, and that's a lot to keep in mind when you're animating. So maybe to simplify that, we'll take a Jendy Tartakovsky approach here. and we just do like straight lines, and that's how we handle the beard. So you see, you have to keep control of 1, 2, 3 lines, 1, 2, 3. You see, these are the things that you have to keep in mind when you're gonna animate. Like, okay, where are the things, where are the control points I need to find when I'm animating? Jendy Tartakovsky does that. The guy, I always forget his name, that does Danny Phantom, also takes this approach, and it lends to itself to really great animation. Like, yeah, for example, like doing this kind of detail, like even though it looks awesome in comic books, in animation is going to be a nightmare. So, but if the client says like that's what I want, then you just explain to the client like, okay, it's going to be more time, which means it's more expensive, right? So it's always a give and take. Another great example of like comic book characters adapted to animation is Hellboy. It's the work they do is superb. And I mean, you always got your, uh, DC animation, and Batman and Justice League. No, this is too clean. These lines are too clean. Let's do it more along the lines of this. There we just found musculature, which is hairy. That's hairy arms. So maybe we can have like the elbow, 1, 2 here. The beard is confusing me. We need to center it out better. So, yeah. You see, this is a time to explore. If something is rubbing you the wrong way, might as well go ahead and fix it now. Like, there's no need to like attach yourself to your drawings like that. So you see, you got 1, 2, you got 1, 2 here, 1, 2 here, 1, 1, and that's how you keep track of your like design details as you animate. You give yourself like those I don't know, like landmarks within your design. See, always do these 3 lines. Need 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here. That way you won't have that many like dancing lines as your animation progresses. I mean, again, with modern technology, when you can read like one drawing, then yeah, like this is not that big of a problem. But then the moment you need to rotate your character, again, Like you have to keep these are good skills to know. Just okay. His chest could be a lot bigger. You know what? Let's do something here. Let's bring it out a bit. Okay, just explore. And at this point, I mean, this is not what's called plussing. We'll see that later, but like we're basically playing with the shape, so we don't need to attach ourselves to any proportions or anything. We're just exploring. Okay? So keep that in mind. It has claws, right? Let's see, I think it's shown here. No, here. Kind of like claws with a very distinctive nail, so we should come. So he's wearing what he's wearing underneath. Looks like a loincloth thingy. It changes from design to design, but the one that makes more sense to me is this. Even though it's in silhouette, it's a more like organized shape. So let's take this as reference. Something like this. Very like mecha anime-ish. Some lats here, some lat action. Okay. Let's organize the shapes here. So this hand should be okay around this height. So yeah, guys, King Cryptid, you can find it at alternacomics.com. Hey, what's up? That's Romask. Pleasure to have you here, man. Yeah, if you don't know Alterna, go check them out. Really great comics, Dude, like Pizza Man is a solid creator and producer. So yeah, go check them out. They brought back newsprint, man. That's among many other cool things. So always on the lookout for what Alterna is doing. So they have this detail. It's repeating is like 3 bones, and that's a good element that will help with rotation. So yeah, let's keep that in mind. Yeah, this works. Hmm. Actually, this diamond thing comes in between the eyes. Actually, it's more like this. Okay. The legs, they're kind of skinny here, but they're bulkier here. Like almost like Sasquatch-like. So now let's take a note from that. So yeah, I'm going as fast as I can, but I mean, normally I'll take more time with the details, but I'm taking into account that you guys are here, so I have to keep it entertaining. Uh, like this. And we got the cape. Yeah, the cape's gonna be a lot of fun to animate, so I'm really looking forward to that. Capes are always a great opportunity for overlapping action and follow through. So okay. Now we got this. We have almost all the information that I need, minus certain details. So let's get rid of the reference and let's center our character. So normally, when you do a model sheet, like you'll see the characters going like one right next to the other. But how we used to do it in the paper and pencil days was basically you will lay a piece of paper on top of what you've done, and then do the other pose. So in this case, in this digital days, what we do is we do another layer. I will bring the opacity down on this one, and then now let's do a profile pose. So in order to do the profile pose, I'm already seeing mistakes here, so I'll fix that later. Let me show you first how do you do profile. So to do the profile pose, let me just save this. Remember, always save. Mission Dojo. Let's see. Bad news. Model sheet. Okay. So in order to do that, like you already have all the markings to guide yourself. So for example, let's grab this detail here. We project it to the side a bit. We bring the opacity of this lower. So you see, you grab the markers from what you've done already, and then you just use that as a reference. So in this piece, we're gonna start like taking liberties because we can see some of the delta working out. So draw to the form. So you see, you start creating your markers. The point of the beard goes here. Always try to affect the positioning of your legs. Like put one like a little bit in front of the other, so that will help with the three dimensionality of your drawing. Like if you do it like with just only one leg, uh, it's gonna look flat. So take that into consideration when you're doing your model sheet. Like, do something like this. Now, taking into consideration that in the three-quarter pose, the foot is projecting itself like this. We're gonna grab the position of the heel, and then project the foot like this. So even though it's like you're not really making it shorter because the heel is your point of reference here. Use as many lines as you need. Oh, this hand is a little bit small, so let's. You can also check your volumes like that, like what I just cut and resize and point it, place it back in the position it goes. There's no shame in using technology. So now with the details, 1, 2, 3, in their angles like this, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So now we go come in. Here can be a little bit more judicious with our details. Like this all needs to be cleaned up, guys. So like you wouldn't present a model sheet like this more than likely. A model sheet would be presented as a finished product, like how it would look on screen. So you'll need like colors, shadows, and all that. But it all starts like this, just like you will start an animation, because that's how you keep controlling your model. So I think we're already on 40 minutes. So what we're gonna do today, it's the rough model sheet. So seeing the characteristics of this character, I think we're gonna be good with 3 positions. So it's gonna be front profile, 3/4 front profile, and 3/4 back. I think we're gonna be good with that. And then we're gonna start working on the post sheet. So I think that's gonna be interesting for you guys to see how to go about that. You see that the front line, which would be this line here, you can bring the opacity up here. With this line here, is this line here. We got 1, 2. Yeah. 1, 2. The one on the edge of the angle. See? And then 2 more up here. Let's place this better. Okay, so like this. Okay. Yep. Okay, so basically what we're trying to do is like if we have our character mounted in like a rotary thing, as we rotate him, we can show like more details on, and we can give like the most amount of information to the animators. So here's going to be more cape and back of the hair more so than anything else. So let's make another layer here. It would be a nice thing if we do a little cylinder here. So it should be the same length. You see little things that can help you find what you need. So here. So in the details of the cape, what really like rule about the lines you do, like the things that go down like this, it's basically the bottom line. What you need to do here is, do your little like drapery lines, and that will inform. And then you get rid of the parts of the line you don't need. And that way you have more control over like these details of the lines on the cape. So as you animate, you can use the principle of overlap in action and follow through. Like you get your line doing this, then on your next drawing it will go further, then it will start a new action over here. You see, once you get that, it's real easy to just put the details of the line as it progresses. So it won't look like crazy, Oh yeah, that's a little tip. I don't know if that made any sense. It made sense to me, so feel free to ask. I'm sorry. So here again, take into account the heel. So you're gonna get the foot here. And you're gonna have something that looks like this, and the other one's gonna be a little bit higher because it's rotating, but also the heel is what you use as a reference. Actually, move this to the side a bit, maybe around here. That would work. And we won't see that much of the foot, more so something that looks like this. Maybe one nail here. Toes. Yeah. For the toes being so low. Oh, the thing is like, key is on a cylinder, right? And you rotate them. So as you rotate the character, like your reference point is the heel, not the toes. That's why it's like a trick perspective. It's not really accurate, but in animation it translates better. So it's always, if you use your point of reference, the heel is your point of reference as he rotates, the toes are gonna project forward. You know. So yeah, that's the thing in perspective. Like an ellipse is gonna look, I don't know, rounder on the bottom side, and on the top side is gonna be flatter. That's to do so. That's one of the things that helps with the illusion. So let's go with a darker pencil now. And here, well, not yet because we haven't defined. So he has 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So we got the beard going, projecting at the front, using this line as a cut. Let's use this point here as the center. So you got 1, 2. I mean, even though with hair, like you can be like as precise with your lines as you want to. Yeah, exactly. It's on an ellipse. Like with the hair, you can be as precise as you want to, or just like disregard it, because in the end, the hair is, it's really easy to get lost trying to represent it. So I don't know. Like I'll ask Pete about how the cape behaves. The cape on top of this, like bone structure on his shoulders, or is it like under? I'm gonna interpret like it's under. So let me get rid of this lines. It's just, it looks cleaner to me doing it like this. But I'll ask Pete. That's the thing. Like at this stage, your communication with your client is very important. He might have notes to give me once he sees this, and I'll apply corrections accordingly, because I'm not gonna start animating in a while. Like I need to do the storyboard and do the post sheet and whatnot. So I have things to discuss with Pete as the project progresses. Okay, so we get this. Remember, long, confident lines. know what? I think I would like something more disorganized back here, because if we see the reference, he got straight hair here. But I like the fact that this goes like wide to the sides. So yeah, I might apply that. See, it's always a thing, like revising what you've done. Maybe you're not happy with it, and if you're not, then by all means change it. Especially if your client is not happy with it, and he's the one paying, so by all means change it. I mean, even though this will be like more difficult to animate, uh, it does look better. So yeah, I might go to the first one and change it a bit, change it up a bit, and do something that looks more like this. Yeah. Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's all on the animation training that was ingrained in me. Okay. I mean, this style of drawing, it's cool, so you can lay like a lot of ideas really fast. But I'm not really that good at detail. Like I mean, I have peers that are just, I don't know. I see what they do and they blow my mind. I was like, oh, maybe I could do that, but I don't think I have the patience. So that's something that I've picked up, like working with RT Bear. Like, learn to slow down as I draw. Because I was like the rough animator, just like draw fast, draw fast, draw fast, capture the movement. But if you want to do details, you need to slow down. Okay, so you can do a little like imply that it's hairy down here. That sounded dirty. Okay. You know what I meant. Okay. Okay. Let's move it. Let's check for the volume. It can be a bit taller. It can be a bit taller. Yeah, this works. Okay. Cool. Let's bring this one to the center. We're not done yet. So let's fix what we did with the hair. I like better what we did in the last drawing, so it's more akin to okay. Okay. So yeah, so basically that's how you do a model sheet. It's a little bit too short, so we need up a bit. So yeah, this is how you make a model sheet. So let's make this official. Because I have made uh, jobs for Alterna Comic, so I do have it at hand. So there you go. You got King Cryptid uh, model sheet. So basically, to be cleaned, I might clean it up during the week, and let's start working on the post sheet. So on the next class, like I'll show you how like to do the storyboard and the sequence, and maybe start animating because I have to revise it. I have to go over it with Pete with this. Hey, what's up, Analia? Oh, no, this exercise is called Bad News, Analia, and it has to do with a character receiving bad news, but we don't get to hear it. But as an audience, we need to know he's getting bad news. So through body language and expressions, you have to convey sadness. So it's like the one of the very first uh, acting exercises. Hey, what's up, some person? How you doing? It's one of the first like uh, acting exercises you do as animators. Well, at least at my school, we used to do that, and yeah, it helps with setting up a scene because you need to do two scenes here: a close up and a long shot. You choose the order, and yeah, you get to make our characters react to something that the audience can't really hear. So we need to know it's a sad event through his expressions. So it's cool. It's cool. So let's take this model sheet, and now that we have uh, a tentative model, let's use this model as a base and create a post sheet. So a post sheet normally, yeah, yeah. Even though Darth Vader is wearing a mask, so it's really hard to emote with a mask on. So that would be more body language, but yeah, kind of like it's the spirit. So what we're gonna do now is test the range of our model. So we have it here, the structure of the face. So if he has his mouth wide open, how would that look like? So you know, the mandible is on a hinge, right? That does this. Something like this. And then we go back to our model sheet as many times as we need to. So if I remember correctly, we have 3 points of reference. Be 1 and 1, right? 1 and 1 and 2 and 2. Okay. So you see, your model helps you like control the shape. Will give you like all the information you need. This is more of a surprise look, like, huh? So there's a lot of like stretch. Let me change the color. There's a lot of stretch of the face here. Like, what would happen to the eyes if they go wide? Like, those are the kind of things like I'm trying to investigate here. This is the gem in the middle of the head. Yep. I mean, getting hit in the face with a pie is bad news. So yeah. Obi-Wan. Yeah. I don't want to hear about Obi-Wan. Man, I don't know. Hayden Christensen deserved better, I think. Okay. So now let's go for an annoyed face. So let's tilt it down a bit. The gem in the center is a great marker to help you like the orientation of the face. Yeah. Oh, dude. Cooking the cream is so good. I have the higher ground. Don't do it. Uh, uh, Yeah, like the things like, for example, the construction of the face here is very simple, but I don't use the normal crosshair, like, like when, okay, start from the beginning. Like, you do like the little shape, get the oval, and then use like, you construct the eyes like this, and get like the different planes for the face. With our model, we have the particularity that we have this gem here that really serves as a basically like a keystone. So yeah, like I'm drawing structurally and drawing through the form, but I'm applying a kind of a lot of shorthand. So thank you for letting me know. Let me be more procedural on the next poses. Because yeah, um, I think I got lost and thought I was working for myself. So yeah, guys, keep me honest. All right. So the things I'm looking for as I understand this model and I'm getting used to it. You see, it's, even though it's a different pose, they kind of look like it's like the same face. Let me just make this smaller so we can get in more drawings. Uh, for example, his head, I'm interpreting like a box. So yeah. And why I'm interpreting a box? Because it's easier to turn. Right, right now we can see the top of the box and the side of the box, which means he's looking down and to one side. So why do I use a box? Because of the particularity of his face. This shape here, it's really easy to find within a box. See, so let's get rid of the box. Now that we got this shape here, let's move this down a bit. Let's find it the center. And to make the crown, I use two ellipses. I find the center, the gem, give me the first spike of the crown. I mean, he's a king, King Cryptid. So you see, from one ellipse to the other, I find where the details are, and I'm using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's always 7. So 3 in the front, 4 on the back, just like a mullet. It should be higher. I mean, and I'm trying poses like I might not use in the end, in the animation. Yeah, a bunch of bananas is it's a it's a good analogy. Yeah. Well, yeah, they call it the Loomis method. Is it famous uh, book that explores that technique? But I learned with Glenn Vilppu, and I think the way he thought this concept, it's way more organic. Like I don't know. Again, it's a preference. I mean, Loomis is great. Don't get me wrong. It's like, woo, woo, wee. And we're just going. That was close, like he seems to be saying here. Yeah. So yeah, like one of the first guys who started doing structural drawing at Disney was an animator called Fred Moore. He was at the on the Snow White unit. He was one of the guys in the unit that drew Snow White, and he's great. I don't know. His great achievement at Walt Disney is that he got all the Walt Disney animators out of rubber hosing animation and started like really studying anatomy. So he was the first one, and that landed him on the Snow White unit. So if you have the Nine Old Men book, I recommend you look for it. You're gonna get really good examples of his work there, and everything built around what he did. So yeah. Okay, so okay. So yeah, like maybe Pete might get mad at me because of the drawings I'm doing here, like because maybe the personality of the character is a little bit more stoic, like he's a monster. So he wouldn't be making like this faces. But what I'm trying to explore here is the range of the character, as in how far can I take him before I break the model? So that's why like sometimes at post sheets you see like very extreme like expressions, but it's just that like as an animator you're testing the limits of the model. That way, when you go to animating, like you have a ballpark idea of how far to go with it, right? So, and again, like you can be very loose because I mean, this is not something to share with the public. Even though a lot of people like really enjoy watching like model sheets and post sheets, but this is more of a like in-house like work uh, art. So the level of definition you're gonna get, it's totally up to the director or the animation lead or the. It's still on model. Like you can tell it's King Cryptid. So I think we're still on the. Let's do another one here. So we can draw your ellipse here, your ellipse up here to find where things go. Example, like let's give some movement to the beard here. Let's see how our lines will behave if we do like a different shape of the beard. And that's one the things like what we did in the model sheet with the markers on the beard, like do the extremes and the center, and then one between here and two up there will really help you like in a pose like this. Let me show you. Let's save first. Let's go to animation Dojo, and this would be bien pose sheet. Yeah. So here you get the center line. You got the line coming to the side, and this line is going to be lost behind the beard. So we need one line here, one line here, one. Maybe this one goes behind. So you see, when we know how many lines we have, like we can keep it consistent as the beard moves. So that's something to keep in mind. We're a little bit looser with the hair in the back. So, and there are ways to control that to make it look seamless, even though it's not really as controlled as the beard is going to be. So once we get to the animation, like I'll show you how you can achieve that. And it has a lot to do with the class the number 2 class we did, the overlapping action and follow through. It has to do a lot with that. So it's just a matter of keeping in mind what you're doing and what looks best. Yeah, I think we can squeeze one more. Let's do a very like sad pose. So let's go this way. Okay. All right. So okay. So okay, time to review. What have we done in an hour and a half, which is like the time I allotted the classes? We basically looked into. Let me just turn. Oh, you know what? Let's just move this and hide it. We reviewed our references. This is King Cryptid, the model for the comic. In the trying to adapt to the needs of what we're going to do, which is a full animation, taking hints from Primal and basically Jenny Tartakovsky. So we're simplifying the character on the veins of that area. We came up with a model sheet that needs to be cleaned. There's some things that, for example, this line here doesn't really convince me. So there are things that I need to review, go over to get the proper model sheet finished. I'm going to discuss this with Pete, see what he has to say, and then apply correctives. Once we did that, we went ahead and did a post sheet to test the range of the character. Right? So normally it's going to be way more drawings than this. So it would be like a couple of days just going over, trying different things, looking for references on video and film, and watching like people expressions, like how would our character make that expression. So that's the exploration you go when you go do a post sheet. So it should be several pages of this. And once you get that, again, revise it with your client, see what he thinks. Then next class, we're going to be doing the storyboard and probably doing the layouts and start to animate. So yeah, for those who didn't see it at the beginning of the class, I showed you guys the cleaned up version of the run cycle. I've already finished it. And I remember in that class, like I showed you how to do shadows and highlights and all that. So this is what you should end up with. Get your character here. You have a shadow layer, a shadow level, and you have a highlight level. And should I notice something that looks like this? All right, so if you try to run cycle, I encourage you to clean it up, apply shadows and highlights, and come up with something that looks like this, and it's a lot of fun. So yeah, next class, we're gonna be going over how to prepare our storyboards and do our layouts for the animation. We might do some multi-plane camera action too, so I can show you how to do that. So yeah, join me next time on the Animation Dojo. Thank you so much for being here with me, and see you later, guys. Take care. Good night. And again, I don't know how. Okay, here.